Kind of my number one tip for you is to prioritize prolific over preeminent. What does that mean? So basically, you want to focus on the things that you can control, which are your outputs, or your inputs, I should say, rather than your outputs, because you can't really control your results when it comes to much of anything. And if you want to become a great music producer, if you strive to be preeminent, meaning like better than everyone else or create the best music, that's a really hard goal to achieve, to obtain, and it can be very frustrating, and that can slow you down and hold you up. Versus if you focus on being prolific, you can absolutely achieve that no matter how bad your music is, right? So that means if you set activity-based goals versus outcome-based goals, you can always win. And so this is a big thing. You want to set your life up. That's kind of a broader topic there, but let's say focus on your music. We're going to set your music life up, your music goals up, so that each day can be a win for you. And that's kind of what this challenge is here. So if your goal is to write a hit song this month, there's a lot of factors that go into that. And you're most likely going to not hit that, and you're going to feel like a failure, and you're going to feel like you've lost, even if you achieved a lot, even if you improved a lot and put out a lot of music. Because of where you set your goal, you're going to feel like a loser, you're going to feel like a failure. And so you want to set your reward system up for you so that you feel like you're making progress, you feel like you're winning, because that's going to build momentum, that's going to make you more excited, more encouraged, so you keep going, keep improving. So that's why I say prioritize prolific over preeminent. So prolific, it means, present in large numbers or quantities, plentiful. So we want you to be a plentiful musician, to have a large catalog of music, versus preeminence, which is striving to, surpass all others. And so a great example of someone that took this approach is Pablo Picasso. So he's a famous artist, and he produced lots and lots of artworks, but he's considered to have created 100 masterpieces. Wow. So that's a lot of masterpieces, right? But he actually created 147,800 total pieces of artwork. That's insane, over like a 78-year career. So could you envision yourself creating 147,800 songs? And then maybe 100 of those became hits for Picasso. That was the case. So that's a 0.068% hit rate if you want to apply it to music. So that's really low. So then you could probably say, oh, Picasso was a horrible artist, he failed most of the time. And maybe you're like me and you don't really particularly find much of his art that appealing. That's not your style, that's not my style, but he's considered to have created 100 masterpieces and is considered one of the greatest artists out there in history. And yet he has tons and tons of art that aren't considered hits, aren't considered masterpieces. And so I'm just want to encourage you to take that pressure off of yourself to write a good song, to write a great song. Just put the pressure on yourself to write a song and do it again and again and again, and be prolific. Have that be your measurement. And as a result of doing that, just on your own, organically, you're going to become a better music artist. And that's kind of the approach I took when I got started, because when I first got started, I just really fell in love with creating music. I really enjoyed creating music. It had nothing to do, I never envisioned like other people even listening to music. I just wanted to create music that I liked. And so I would create a song, and then I listened to it over and over and over again until I got bored of it, and then I'd write a new song. And then I was doing that at a pace where I was writing multiple new songs every week. Actually, the way I first got inspired was from a band, kind of a family band that we started. It's mostly my dad, just to create goofy songs from funny family stories. And so we created like a album art just to be goofy, and that's what we looked like, heavily photoshopped. Eventually I created my own band name, which I called Arcanized Revenge, which I later changed to Andromeda Coast. And so here's me in the studio working. That was my first setup. Didn't know how to play an instrument, didn't know how to quantize, didn't even know what like the notes on a keyboard were. I just learned, hey, all the white keys sound good together just through trial and error, or hey, all the black keys sound good just through trial and error. So for the first like couple of years, all my songs I made with just like the white keys or just the black keys. And so I used Cubase Elements 6 when I got started. So that's what you can see here. This is from 2013. This is actually right before I started going to college at Ohio State. And so you can see some of my tracks there. And when I did get to college, I had this sales job where I had to go door to door or put a bunch of flyers in mailboxes. And that was a huge pain. And to motivate myself to get out there, I would write a song real quick in my basement, and I put it on my phone, and then I would go out and drop the flyers. Obviously I couldn't be listening to the song while I was knocking on doors, but when I was having to go and drop hundreds and hundreds of flyers in mailboxes, I would have my new song to listen to. So here's a picture I took when I was walking down the street in the cold, my chapped lips, and those headphones on. I'm listening to one of my new songs that I just created. So that's what I did. I just created tons and tons and tons of songs, and that's, I really think, what helped me a lot. And so that's just what I want to encourage you to do. That's why we're doing this 30-day challenge, is just work on your music every day for an hour and make that your measurement for success. Did you work on your music for an hour today? If so, then you were successful. And Tic Tone is asking if the name was due to imposter syndrome. Probably. My dad was the one who came up with the name for the band. I actually recently went back and remixed some of those tracks. I'm thinking of uploading them to Spotify here soon.
Locked in a perpetual race with the ever-setting sun,